Here for the Kia Hyundai channel. Welcome to our live video series. This is the long-awaited, much requested Kia Sportage Hybrid. It's the EX model. And if you're an American and you're watching and you're wondering why I just said Sportage, we film in Canada. And in Canada and many other parts of the world, they call this the Sportage, not the Sportage. So if you're in the States, this is your Sportage with some different tweaks for the Canadian packages. But if you're in other parts of the world, it could be the Sportage. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go fully in-depth and in this. And just so you know, this is a live video. And when we do these live videos, we allow our live audience to join in the first 3 minutes. So if you're not live with us and you want to... And if you're not live with us, you want to skip ahead to the content, you can skip ahead to the 3-minute mark if you want, and that'll be where the content begins. In the meantime, we're going to talk about some news and some notes, go on from there. And if you want to join us live when we do these live videos, we're not going to do any for a little while. So we're going to take a little break from some of these live videos, but I'll show you how you can get in just because that's what we always do. And yeah, so if we're doing a live video and you find out that it's going live, what you're going to do is you're going to go here on our homepage. Right now, there's kind of a filler video right there. We can refresh this page at exactly 2 o'clock Eastern time, which is what we usually do when we do these live videos, and you will see that the Kia Sportage is, or a live video is right there. So you're gonna click into that, you're gonna run a quick little ad, unless you have YouTube Premium. In that case, you get to skip ads. There's a little ad for YouTube Premium. I'm gonna skip that ad myself. I'm gonna run a quick ad for the 3 dealers that support this channel: Brantford Kia, Brantford Hyundai, and Owen Sound Hyundai. Those are 3 dealers that make this channel possible. And if you're looking to buy in Ontario, connect with me. There'll be a link in the description below this video, and you can reach out there, and I will connect you with the dealers, and we ship across Ontario. We can work with you as your local dealer wherever you are. So I've run my ads. I've done my thing. I got another minute to kill. So we're gonna talk some news and some notes. I don't have a lot of news and notes other than to say I will be filming a video this afternoon that I will post tomorrow, and I hope you watch it. Probably all I can say about that right now, but just gonna be a little quickie, probably 2-3 minute video, and yeah, it'll be fun. So I hope you watch it, and yeah, like I think I'll post it tomorrow morning. I don't think I'll post it today. We'll see if we can post it today, but we'll see if the timing works out. So good afternoon to the regulars. Do me a favor, regulars, if you're here, there's 50 people on right now. If you are a regular, let's see if we can just blast out the likes, try to get a bunch of likes in here. And like I said, if you're just joining us, we're waiting to that 3-minute mark, got another 30 seconds to go to let our live audience jump in here. The best way you regulars can help us out is to just hit that like button so we can notify as many people as possible. And then we're gonna dig into this vehicle right here, which I'm pretty excited about. And I just realized, I hope I have the right key in my pocket. Oh, I do. This is sort of the story of how I do things. All right, 10 seconds to go. We're gonna be good to go. Let's do this. 5 seconds to go. All right. Here we go, 2023 Kia Sportage EX, and this is the hybrid. Now, we have done one video of the hybrid in the past, but it was a pre-production version that head office was kind enough to give us some access to. The pre-production version didn't technically have a trim assigned to it. Now, in reality, it was an SX version, so the SX adds a number of little features. The SX adds the panoramic sunroof is one of the big things in there. It has a 360 camera, which this doesn't have. So there's a number of items in the SX. This is an EX model, and other than that sunroof and maybe a little bit smaller wheels, which we'll talk about in a second, for a lot of people, you're gonna kind of view this as a premium model, a premium version. So we'll give you a look on the outside really quickly before we jump inside. A couple things I want to point out. Well, we'll get to them in a second on the outside, but let's talk about those smaller wheels. And I say smaller, they're not really that small. They're 17-inch wheels, but some people think, okay, for a higher end vehicle, why do they sometimes run with 17-inch wheels on a hybrid when they could have 18s or anything? And again, the SX model does have 18. Smaller wheels are often used on hybrids simply for fuel efficiency. They're actually a little bit lighter, they're a little bit more efficient. And these ones are aerodynamic, but a lot of aerodynamic wheels, in my opinion, kind of ugly. These ones look really good in person. And of course, the little bit more sidewall helps you if you go off-road. And this vehicle is not really an off-roading vehicle, but it does have some traction modes that you can go further off the road than you would in some other vehicles. And hybrids are really the way of the future. So let's just really quickly tell you what a hybrid is if you don't know. It's a regular vehicle. It just get in, hit the start button, drive it. There's no need to plug in this car. That's a plug-in hybrid or a PHEV or an electric car. This isn't that. So what this is a gasoline engine that drives the car. It's got an electric motor attached to it, and then it has a battery in the back here as well. And what it does is when it coasts or when it brakes, it charges the battery. It can also charge the battery when the engine's running. And because the computer is pretty smart, smarter than me, it helps you get great fuel mileage. It uses the electric motor quite a bit. You can run sometimes with the gasoline engine completely off. It'll turn off for sections of your drive, and most of the time it will just be assisting you. And all that you have to know is that you get in, you drive it like a regular car, and it will save you fuel. So with our hybrids, our four-wheel drive system is attached by a mechanical drivetrain. I think the technology today, that's the best system. I know some companies think that, electric motors front and rear works well in an electric car, but a gasoline motor here, an electric motor there, to me, the transition isn't perfect, so it still has the full drivetrain attached. And again, because this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, what happens with our all-wheel drive systems, a lot of our competitors, the front wheels have to slip and lose traction before it will send power to the rear wheels. So basically, you've lost control, and then you give a new set of wheels power, and you're supposed to try to regain control. With that kind of a system, the car can get really squirrely and it kind of feels, not the way you want. This system, all four wheels start with the power. So you always have all four wheels receiving power. As it senses that it has traction, it will back off the power to the front wheels only, or basically, officially, 95% in the front, 5% in the rear, so that you have great fuel efficiency, but you don't have to wait to lose control. And basically what that means is when you're driving in poor conditions like in the winter, you have a car that is very stable and secure feeling. And in my mind, if you're getting an all-wheel drive vehicle, that matters. So the all-wheel drive system here matters. The hybrid system matters because you get great fuel efficiency. And then we're going to talk about the power as well. As soon as I can find my cheat sheets here, because I want to show you the secret documents that I'm not allowed to show anybody. We're just going to zoom right into them as soon as I get to the right page here. I highlighted some pages. So here we go. The gasoline model Sportage has 187 horsepower and has 178 foot-pounds of torque. That is adequate. It is not a sports car. For most people, that's going to be perfectly fine. Some people will tell you, oh, it's underpowered. Now, I had some crazy people tell me the other day that you can't pass with that kind of power. You can't pass on the highway. They'd be wrong. For many years, a V6 engine didn't have 187 horsepower. A V8 engine in many years didn't have 187 horsepower. So when somebody tells you that it's underpowered, that's not fair to say. It's not a true statement, but it is not a sports car. So what's cool now is they used to have a Sportage with a turbo. Well, technically this one's a turbo as well. The engine in this car is a 177 horsepower, 195 foot-pound, four-cylinder turbo engine. All of that torque is available down low in the revs, and it's paired with an electric motor which produces 59 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. So that equals out to 195 plus 195 equals 258, right? No, but the reality is because of where this applies the power and how they blend together, your overall power numbers are 227, so significant horsepower jump from the gas car, and a really significant torque jump, 258 and 178. And when you drive this car, because the torque of the engine is available much lower in the rev range than the gas engine, than the pure gas car, this one has instant torque. Even if you were to take out the hybrid, has very good torque from the gasoline engine. And then of course, that instant torque from the electric motors. This one is a much more powerful, much more peppy, immediate kind of car, and it drives really well. Okay, so here's where we're going. Front seats, rear seats, trunk space, lighting, inside and outside the car. I'm gonna try to show you some features that other people don't show you. First, we're gonna start off with the key. You can see the key here. No extra button down here. So this one does not have a powered trunk, but it does have the remote start on the side. A lot of times hybrids don't come with remote starts, especially in the Kia in the past, because they assumed that hybrid people were super energy efficient conscious, and you are, but we live in Canada, and sometimes it's nice to pre-start your car in the winter, and you do have that ability to do that with a remote start here as well. One more thing that I like to do, lock the car really quickly. We're gonna hold down the unlock button right after locking it. We're still holding that button down. Check out the front windows. There they go. You can vent out this car by opening the front windows just with your key fob alone. I'm gonna unlock it. We're gonna jump inside and take a look. All right, hopping in the car. Couple cool things. You've got some ambient lighting in here. Right now it's set to a browny red. Looks red on camera, looks a little more brownish to me in person. Over here, again, being the EX model, kind of a mid-level-ish overall trim, even though the lower level for the hybrid. You have power windows, power locks, power mirrors, of course, there. Powered seat there with a lumbar adjustment. This is leather, but it's not. It's an artificial leather, and I love our artificial leather. I actually like it better than our real leather. It's got a little bit of a grip to it, but it's kind of nice. I quite like it. A little bit of detailing in the seats there. And let's flip through over here. One of the most impressive things about the Sportage, any of them when you get in, is this single panel view over here. And you can see when you shut the door, it kind of does some cool little graphics there. So we're gonna start the car completely. Usually I start the car without my foot on the brake. This time I'm gonna put my foot on the brake and we're gonna start it up. Now, if the climate system's set, and if no one's played with this car, the gasoline engine will probably not turn on. Once the gasoline engine does turn on, I have to cut the engine because I have a boss over there who has an office right next to it, and I don't want to have the emissions going into his office because, well, that wouldn't be good. But anyways, point is, I want to start the car completely in this video just to show you what happens. Press the start button, car comes to life, EV and ready. As soon as it says ready there, like that, you are ready to drive. Currently, the gasoline engine is not running. I just turned the climate system off, and that can help keep the gasoline engine off a little bit later. So that ready button tells you you're good to drive. The EV button or light over there tells you that it is in full EV mode. It's good to go, and you're using no fuel right now. So in fact, if I put it in drive and drive forward, which I'm doing right now, not much, not fast, and we'll go backwards as well, I am moving it on pure electric power. So there, oh, and now the gasoline engine just started. So let's turn it off for a second. And the idea is, how many kilometers in EV mode, someone just asked. So in the hybrid mode, it doesn't have in full EV mode. The computer's gonna decide on its own when it runs and when it doesn't. Normally the driving I just did, I could do in here normally, but the gasoline engine is not really fully warmed up yet. So it's gonna turn on a little earlier because it wants that gasoline engine to be ready, because remember, if you need full power, it has to blend the gas and electric. So this is one that, unlike the PHEV giving you, unlike the PHEV giving you pure electric range, this one sort of the computer will decide on its own. So it might be a couple hundred meters, it might be, you know, not much at all. It depends on how it goes. Usually the gasoline and electric motors work together. So here's your dash. This looks like a digital display screen, but really it's just this that is a changeable display screen. The rest of this is just color changing. If we were to switch our drive modes, for instance, we can go to sport mode, which changes it to red, smart mode, eco mode, sport mode. Come on, there we go, sport mode and smart mode. You can see the colors change on the outside, but really that's all they do. This is not a sort of full display screen. It's just sort of a colored display screen. You'll notice it doesn't have the smart mode, it has an eco, oh boy, let's flip it back here. You'll notice, let's try that again. It has the eco and the smart mode. Now, traditionally I talk about the eco mode and the smart mode. Usually they don't have an eco mode, it's a smart mode. This one doesn't have a normal mode. And the point is, when you're in the hybrid, it's always going to be efficient. Smart mode is very good. The reason you would use smart mode on this is if you tend to get into the throttle a lot, it will jump into that sport mode automatically for you based on how you use the pedal. So if you buy this because you really want the power and the efficiency is nice for most of the time, smart mode would make more sense in this car. Usually smart mode is your efficiency mode, and it still is very efficient here, except that when you give it the gas, it's going to automatically switch to sport mode if you need to. And then in eco mode, it's going to, again, try to squeak out as much efficiency as it can. The drive modes themselves don't save you the fuel. It's that if you're driving efficiently, eco mode is going to work best with you. If you're driving aggressively, sport mode is going to work best with what you want to do. If you drive aggressively in eco mode, you're still going to use quite a bit of fuel. So one thing I do want you to know is that this car was at like 28 liters per 100 kilometers when I was in it earlier. That is because it's a dealership car. We have it idling, we have it doing various things for us. So don't worry if you see terrible mileage on that. I showed you the drive modes. Let's show you the terrain modes: snow, mud, and sand mode. I had the Sorento PHEV out in the snow, and if you want to see how this car can perform in the snow, Sorento PHEV is going to perform very similar, so you can check out that video on our channel as well. Flipping over here, this is our large display screen, and when I say that, some people think it's the 10.25 inch display screen that used to be in the Telluride and still is in the Telluride and Stinger, but now it's the 12.3 inch screen. So the biggest screen you can get. The Carnival, the EV6, and the Sportage are the only ones that have this available in it, and it is a large screen. I don't know if you can sort of sense by my hands there. It really is a good sized display screen, and there's a lot of information in here, very quick responding. It's just a lot like an iPad. Some hybrid information in here, so you can go through if you're a nerd and see exactly what's going on. Again, 8.5 liters per 100 kilometers. You'll have no issues beating that. 6 liters per 100 kilometers, around that range is where this car is rated. You can dig into various things. So this is sort of how the power goes. If we were to start the car, it would show you battery to the motor and out to the wheels. If you were to be braking, it'll show you. So it's kind of a fun display, hybrid type display to show. There's all kinds of things you can see there. If we just throw the car in, actually we won't throw the car in reverse, we'll put up the backup camera. There's your backup camera. There are some parking areas there. You can kind of see the gray areas there. That will go green, red, and yellow if there's something behind you. And again, rear side only. And then, of course, you've got the guidelines there where the yellow and red turn with you, the blue lines up. So really clear display screen there. And then there is something controversial in here. It's, to be blunt, it's not my favorite feature, but to be fair, I think more of that is in my head than is in reality. So here's what we've got with the climate system. First of all, we have some shipping plastic on this car still. So if you see stuff like that, don't worry about the cheapy looking plastics. It's not cheapy, it's just that there's still some shipping plastic on it. So here's my issue with the climate system here. You've got your climate controls there, left side climate, right side climate, and that is your dual zone climate control system. Works very well. For the most part, you're just gonna hit the auto climate system. You can see everything come up there. And you can set that higher or lower. If you wanna go to a driver only mode, once the car's up to temperature or down to temperature, you can do that, and it sets your vents only on the driver's side, cuts all the passenger side, and that on a hybrid makes some sense. It can keep the vehicle from going into or running the gas engine a little bit extra. In an electric car, I don't recommend using it as much, but you know, it's always up to you. So this display screen is great for climate, but it is also your radio display screen. And the biggest difference is if you use this knob as your volume all the time, it's going to be sometimes on your climate, and it can get a little confusing. So all of these buttons, all of these buttons here, I don't know what I just touched, but all of those buttons there are redundant buttons. You can get to everything through here. Oh, that's what I hit. I hit the navigation button. But you can get to all of that information here. You never need to use these buttons. So if you want to keep it on the climate system, you can. I personally, when I drive, like to keep the climate system off, because once you've set the temperature up to what you want, let's say 20.5 is what you want, it'll automatically get that temperature, whether it needs heat or air conditioning. And you still have those auto controls here when you switch it to the radio. And this way, if you want to adjust the radio, you can. So it's a little confusing for about 30 seconds. And then you'll kind of figure out where you're going to leave it, and you go. And if your passenger needs to adjust their temperature and it's on the wrong thing, they're going to go click, and there. Is it an extra step? Yes. Is it silly sometimes? Yes. But does it work? And it actually works better than I thought it would. And like I said, I thought I'd complain about it more than I do. It's less of an issue now that I've driven this car a little bit. Now, down here, compared to the gasoline Sportage, we have some differences. The quickest way to tell from the inside of a Sportage if it is a hybrid or not in Canada is this dial style thing. If it's a gasoline vehicle, it has a gear shift with the gear shift lever. If it's a hybrid or PHEV, it's going to have this dial style shifter. And that also makes a change up here on, for instance, an X-Line Limited. You still have all the same functions up here. You have the USB-C, USB, you have a 12-volt port, you have a wireless phone charger down there, but you don't have the cover on those ones. So the hybrid's got the cover because you've got a little bit more space opened up with this gear shift lever or gear shift dial. I actually quite like the way this works. It's very intuitive, very easy to work. You can see that ambient lighting wrapping around there. The ambient lighting curls into this area right there. So a lot of ambient lighting coming around in other places as well. You got heated seats right there, three levels of rump roasting. And you also have your heated steering wheel there, which is nice and easy to use. And then on the steering wheel, you've got things like paddle shifters. Now, if you are a fan of our EVs, the electric vehicles have paddle shifters that are actually regenerative braking buttons. We're going to do a regenerative braking video to explain what that is in our hybrids and our EVs in the future. We'll do that probably next week or so. But these ones are not not regenerative braking shifters. They are paddle shifters for the transmission. And down here you have your smart cruise control, lane follow assist, which basically allows it to keep the distance between the vehicle in front of you. And then lane follow assist allows you to keep centered in the lane, and it legitimately steers the car for itself. If you're going on a road trip, it's kind of amazing. You're responsible for that, but I'm not supposed to say it steers itself, but it totally steers itself. You can go hands-free. You shouldn't, but you can take your hands off the wheel, and people do, and it'll keep it straight. You shouldn't because you're responsible for your car. All right, we got 100 people on right now. We got 46 likes. Let's see if we can just go for it. Go for 100 likes today. So if you haven't hit the like button, do me a favor, hit the like button. I'm gonna go take your questions. I'm gonna show you one quick feature while you're typing your questions in, and then we'll go. The only reason I wanna show this feature is the EV6 in Canada, they did not put these home link buttons, which open your garage door on the bottom of the mirror. They should have. I agree with all of you. They did hear what you're saying here and keep those home link buttons there on the Sportage Hybrid EX model. All right. I'm gonna go take your questions right now. My light's off in my room because that's just what happens when I don't walk by the motion sensor. So I'm gonna take the long way over to my table because I've got another PHEV Sorento blocking my light sensor. So I've got that one in the level 1 charger. Again, this car does not. This car has to plug in, but the one we're talking about today does not have to plug in. Different types of hybrids and plug-in hybrids and that kind of thing. That's how that works. All right. So let me see your questions here. We'll flip around. I'll set the camera down for a second here so I can just kind of pull my computer around. All right, let's go to the top. Is this available for test drive? I believe this is a sold vehicle, but I'm going to be very blunt. I didn't check. I just saw it come in and I stole it for the video. We will try to have a hybrid available. Best thing to do is just connect with our sales team or connect with me after the video. We'll have to find that out. I'm pretty sure this one's sold, but the hybrids are starting to come in now, and there will be at least an attempt by us to keep one as a test drive vehicle so you can drive it and order off of it. And we have a number of other vehicles like that as well. Do you think the Sportage will get similar mileage to the Tucson at 120 kilometers an hour? Tucson hybrid was underwhelming in testing. Interesting. It's possible they're tuned different, but they do share a powertrain. Aerodynamics is slightly different. That may play a difference. In my brief drive in these cars, both on a testing site and here, I don't think the hybrid is really all that underwhelming. It's certainly, if you think of it, it adds power and adds efficiency. It definitely does that. So I think most people will be quite happy with the mileage that you get on this vehicle. Okay, somebody says really handsome vehicle. I agree. It is a good-looking car. Sometimes on a hybrid they kind of make them look goofy. I think this is a good-looking car, so I think we're on the same page as that. I call it a car, SUV. I don't think it matters. How long is waiting for the new Seltos? I'm not sure. There's a number of cars that, to be very frank, I let our sales team deal with how long vehicles take. Because here's the Seltos as an example. Depending on the trim line, one was significantly longer than others. So I let our sales team keep up to date on that, and that way you have accurate information, because even if I say how long a Seltos is, if you watch it 2 weeks from now, you're watching this video, it's probably not accurate anymore by then anyways. Taking delivery of your SX next week. Sweet. Okay. How many kilometers per tank can you get on the hybrid model? So we could do some basic math on this. You get around 6.1 here. Let me just show you the mileage here. 6.1, 6.3, or 6.2. So that is city highway combined. So 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers is the rating. I gotta make sure I'm not showing private information here on these things. The fuel tank is, oh boy, where's the fuel tank in here? Let me just find it for a second, guys. Let me just flip around and give me a second. I will help you do some math. So 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers. In fact, I'm not gonna do the math for you, but I did see the fuel tank size in one of these, I believe. It's normally here and I can't find it. Hold on. Oh, it doesn't have it listed. That's awkward. Oh, 52 liters. So 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers, and you have 52 liters. Somebody who's better at math than me can help you figure that out. And that's the theoretical mileage, right? Like, nobody runs a car completely empty. That's not smart. While I'm flipping through the pages, I should point out this can tow 2,000 pounds. So even as a hybrid, you can tow lightweight trailers only, but it's capable of towing 2,000 pounds, and I think that's good to know. To be honest, I think it's a better towing vehicle than the regular Sportage because it's got more torque and the torque down low. All right, Peter, my husband and I loved your reviews. Thank you. We just ordered a Santa Fe after seeing your review. Can't wait for it to drive someday. Sweet. Thank you, Sarah. People were just in the showroom talking to me right before I went live, and they're also here buying a vehicle. So that's why we do these videos. So there we go. Greg Taylor says 838 kilometers is your theoretical range. Thank you for doing the math. I don't do math on live videos. I don't mind doing math when we're not live, but not on live videos. All right, here's where we're going next, guys. We're gonna go rear seat, we're gonna go trunk, and I wanna take a look at the outside. A couple little features I wanna show you that I think some of the other videos are leaving out, and I think that's something worth showing. And to be blunt, one of the features that I left out in my previous Sportage video. Rear seat space. Yeah, I probably should have checked that before. So this car comes completely wrapped in plastic, and usually our technicians or our cleanup team or whatever, they take care of that. But there's a little sneak preview. We'll deal with that later. So excuse some of the mess in here. I don't want to sit on this in case it's a sticker. We're good. All right, so rear seat space. The biggest thing you're gonna see between this Sportage and the previous one is more space. Now, let's jump in. If you sit in this rear seat, it's the same as the gasoline-only model. It likely will be different than the PHEV model. What happens with the gasoline models is your seat is, your legs are nice and square, your legs go straight down, there's lots of room. Sometimes the floor is slightly higher on a PHEV, so your leg sits up a little bit. Something to keep in mind if you're seeing this video and buying a PHEV off of this. PHEVs haven't been introduced on this model yet, but they're coming soon. So just something to keep in mind, you may have a slightly raised floor in the PHEV, which made you sit like this. To be blunt, I don't think it'll be a big issue. This is a really comfortable area. You have a ton of recline here. It's a 60-40 split. I'm in the 40 section, goes way back, comes way forward to an uncomfortable level forward. So you can put a square box in the back. I'm gonna put it sort of where a comfortable spot for me would be. Headroom is plentiful and legroom is fantastic. Oops, come on, flip around. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. Legroom there is immense. The other thing I really like is driver and passenger side. You have USB-C port. You have a hook for your stuff. You have a pocket back here, plastic back seats that wipe down easily, a coat hanger up there. Everything I just showed you on the passenger seat is duplicated on the driver's seat. This is always my complaint when they don't give one on the driver's seat. They do have it there. You've got vents down there as well. No USB ports there, but again, you still have those USB-C ports in the backs of the seat. So you've got 2 ports back here like that. Really well done rear seat. An improvement on the Sportage. And where we used to compare Seltos and Sportage, especially for rear seat space, for instance, the Sportage was still bigger. This one's way bigger again. So you're now looking at really Sorento and Sportage for size-wise. Gonna pop open the trunk here. New Kia logo on the back there, very EV6 kind of lines there on the back, which is of course now our new flagship vehicle. Gonna put that carpet there. If I wanted to lower this floor, I can do it. Let's try it. There we go, let it drop down. Take the floor mats out of my way here. Oh boy. I'm getting dripped on because this car was run through a car wash. When you drop that floor down, if you fold the seats down, there'll be a slight step up to the seats. That's why you would have it higher. But when you drop it down, you gain space, and boy, oh boy, is this a large trunk. So really well done trunk space here in the thing. A lot of people measure their trunks in liters or cubic feet. I measure them in teddy bears. You know why? Because sometimes the liters of space are not usable space, and teddy bear is much more fun to talk about than liters and cubic feet. Easily a 2 teddy bear trunk. You could set one there. He could have a little teddy bear friend beside him and have a fun time in the back of the car. Yeah, so there's plenty of room. You can stack them on top of each other, wherever you need space for them. In this one, you do have a incandescent light. Sometimes there's LED in the higher trims. You also have a 12-volt port right there. If you need to fold down the seats, you can do that. I'm gonna try that this time. I tried this in the Sportage the other day, and I didn't fold right, so I wanna make sure that I show you. Yeah, see, it sticks like that for a second, partly because it's new, but all you're gonna do is give it a little push, and it locks down. Now, this one, the seat doesn't drop down. This seat usually drops down a little bit in the regular Sportage, just like that piece comes down, but this time, because there's a battery underneath there, it doesn't do that. But it does lock into place, so it's actually stuck in place now. Solid won't lift up until you release the lever to bring it back up. So there is that. We've got our teddy bear. I'm gonna take teddy bear out of here because sometimes I forget him in the trunk, and everybody gets concerned. There was a time when I did videos, I think for 6 weeks, we had him lost in a vehicle. Finally figured out where he was. We have a lot less vehicles to check nowadays, so that's not a problem. All right, we're gonna go quickly look at the exterior of the car. The one thing I wanted to show you, you'll notice that there's no rear wiper. There actually is a rear wiper on this car. What we used to do is stick them down here. The problem with that, I'm sure from a design perspective, is rear wipers aren't pretty. The real problem with that, though, is when you put your wiper down here and you turn your rear defroster on, snow and ice melts onto that system. And then, of course, you park the car, that water or that ice that's melted, water turns to ice again, and using your wiper, you can rip off that wiper blade. Well, now you've kept it up here. It comes down from the top, swings like that, and back up. There's a way to set it down to change it that's very simple to do. We'll do another video of that as well next week, where that wiper can come down. You could change it, but you can swipe it down there, and it's hidden from that snow and ice that can build up. So it's just a better looking thing, a better design thing. It's just better all the way around. Let's take a look at the lighting system of this car. This one has less LED lights than the top line version will have, but it's still got quite a bit. So let's go to, oops, I was gonna start the car, but I don't wanna do that. Okay, so headlighting system on, fog lights on, left side signal on. There's your dash again, looks good. All right, these are heated mirrors. They have the blind spot detection, that kind of thing, rear cross traffic alert. You've got signal lights in the mirrors. So you got everything you would want in the mirrors. Over here, the top line trim is going to have an LED signal light system. You still have the same LED light bar there. That is a lit bar, not just a design piece. And then you'll have LED headlights, which will be a little different LED headlights than these ones, but these ones still very good. The reason I really like LED headlights is they give you a white light that's very bright. That white light makes it easier for your eyes to identify what you're seeing at night because you're used to seeing it in that daylight color. Sometimes this can tint the color. It looks very yellow here compared to me looking at it in real life where it looks white. But there's your headlight, a nice sharp cutoff. Again, it is white, it's just not filming the same because the way the headlights work with the camera. Down here you do have your fog lights, which you can see are kind of individually aimed to give you a nice spread of space there. Just works really well. If you have the signal off, of course, you basically look like this. Coming around this side here, one thing I wanted to check, I never check this as often. Passenger seat is a manual seat, not a powered seat. I know sometimes people ask me that because I don't open that door all the time. So we've now checked that for you. Over here, sort of a mix of LED and incandescent. So LED kind of running lights there, incandescent lights there, and you'll see the signal light over here is an incandescent light as well. you now have a backup light down here. Some people think this is controversial, but this makes a ton of sense. It's a very bright light. People know you're backing up, and it does a very good job of lighting the road. It's down near the road, and especially if you're driving at night, the shadows are sort of in line with where the backup camera would be. It's actually a fairly practical design to have your little backup camera or backup light down there by the camera. Roof rails, this is a very practical car. Like we said, tows 2,000 pounds. And practically speaking, you have the roof rails here that run the full length of the car. If you're towing a canoe, a kayak, a long ski box, you want a long spread to your racks. You don't want them coming out of here and going back there. That's only good for like bicycles or small roof boxes. But having the ability to have those long rails, if you want to carry something longer, you can. It works very well. That's what you need to do. All right, we're 30 minutes in. We've got 126 people on. 74 people have said this is worth a like. Let's go for the 100. Not even everybody on has to hit the, not even everybody on right now has to hit the like button and we can get there. So do me a favor, guys. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes. I'm going to go through your questions again, see if I've got anything going on here. Somebody says 8-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty on the hybrid components, including the hybrid drive battery. That sounds right to me. I'll be honest, I have trouble memorizing some of those warranty things sometimes. But yeah, the hybrid components, you do have a longer warranty. And to be blunt, hybrids as a class are among the most reliable vehicles out there. The way they take care of the engine, and if you think about it practically, that makes some sense. If you give it the gas with a gasoline engine car from a stoplight, you have to really work that engine to pick up speed. On this one from a stoplight, you're going to use a lot of electric power and only gently use that gasoline engine. So hybrids as a class are gentler on their gasoline engines. The electric motors don't mind doing the work. And like I said, as a class overall, they've been extremely reliable. There's no real extra maintenance on the hybrid system. It's just like a regular gasoline car. You don't have to worry about those kinds of things. It's very simple. And to be blunt, you're going to have a hard time driving a gasoline vehicle that's not a hybrid in the future. These are going to be the way of the future as we transition to electric cars as well. Could you tell me why each country has different names for the different trims of the car? Essentially, every country has to decide what is right for their market. Some of it's just flat out marketing. You know, the X Pro model in the United States, we don't have the X Pro model Sportage here. We have an X line. American ones are made in America. Canadian ones are made in Korea. So that's another difference there. But basically the countries decide what's best for them and they mix their packages as well. Traditionally speaking, Canadians get better trimmed vehicles than Americans, but then somebody else will tell me, and there's also differences too. The dial style gear shifter in North America, they've made that a hybrid or PHEV or EV thing only, whereas other parts of the world, you can get the gasoline model with that dial style gear shifter as well. So there's just some different things. Mood and ambient lighting, yes, we showed that a little earlier in the video. It does have it. You can change the colors as well on that. Somebody says, I was in a meeting, but this is a plug-in hybrid. No, this is just the traditional hybrid. The plug-in hybrid is going to come in the future. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be introduced around April or so, but it has not been introduced yet. I have not seen specs on it officially yet. I have some unofficial information on it, of course, because we do know it is coming, but official final specs we don't have on it yet. Will there be support for wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay? That's a good question. So if you had the 8-inch screen in a Sportage, you get wireless CarPlay. So that is the 8-inch screen, which used to be a large screen, but now is now our smallest screen. If you had the 8-inch screen, you get wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay. On these larger screens, 10.5 or 10.25, 12.3-inch screens, you still have Android Auto, you still have Apple CarPlay, but it's not wireless. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense, and I agree with you. But that's what it is. So that's just the truth. It still works very well with the wire. You've got some places to put the wires here that are practical. It's what it is. It is what it is, as I say. All right. Not serious to ask, ambient lighting. Do hybrids and PHEV models have a spare tire? Ooh, that's a good question about the spare tire. I'm 99% sure this does. The PHEV may not. Because the PHEV may have some more batteries. No, the PHEV battery should be underneath, so it should as well. Let's check the spare tire. There we go. Spare tire in this car, confirmed. So I was pretty sure it did, but you know, I think Kia kind of heard the comments on that. We had the Kia Sorento introduced in 2021 with no spare tire, just an inflator kit. 2022, they brought in that spare tire again. So, you know, I think they're starting to hear people's customers' opinions on that, and I'm a spare tire guy myself. Let's, you know, middle-aged man, spare tire guy. So yeah, I think we should do that as well. Okay, I'm trying to go through as many questions as we can. Does the black K5 GT come with red interior? Oh boy, I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't think the red interior is in Canada actually, but I could be wrong. I've seen red interior on that car, but I'm trying to remember if that's Canadian version. I haven't seen a K5 in a while, to be very honest. We're just not in stock right now. See 2 different looks under the grille online. Which trim gets what and what's the difference between them? Let me see if I can find that in my internal information because it might show me here. Ooh, this is not a good look. Does it have a power liftgate? No, this particular one doesn't. The higher trim does have a power liftgate, so you can get one if you want. Let me just see if the information I brought out today will show the different front grills. It doesn't. It just shows me an interior shot. The differences between the front grills, I'd have to show you in a different video. I believe the other one is the SX model is more in line with the X-Line front end, but we'll have to sort of do that in a future video. We'll have Gabby and Charlotte do that video just to show you some differences when they can get them side by side. Is the order portal open for Sportage Hybrid? Not really. What we're suggesting, if you're in Ontario, connect with us, and here's how we're handling our orders. We will take your information. We can't place an order right now. Kia's kind of working out their supply chain issues at the short term. As soon as we can place an order, what we're gonna do at our store is place them in order of the way we got them. So if you're the 5th order in from our store, we're gonna place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason I think you should buy from us is some other stores are telling you we can't order and they're waiting, telling you to come back when you're ready to order, and then they'll have a discussion with you. The minute ordering opens up, if we have 30 orders, we're gonna place all those 30 orders. So we're gonna have your orders in before the other dealers even have called you to say ordering's opened up. So pre-order with us, we'll get it ordered when we can. Ordering is closed on many or all Kia vehicles right now as they just sort through how the supply chain is gonna work, what cars, how they're gonna work that out. But yeah, we can still get you one. Every car is on a wait right now, so even though it says ordering's closed, it's not like that changes really a lot of your wait time. They're just, because there's a delay for literally every car right now, they've just changed that to try to revamp to make sure that they can get the right cars to the right people as quick as they can, especially sold orders. So there is that. What is ambient lighting? I'll show it to you just again in 1 second. We'll go through there. When should we put an order in if we aren't ready to order until spring 2023? You want a car in spring 2023? You should order one. Some of our cars are a year or more for waiting, so do not wait to order a car. If we get it early, it's better to get it early and have to juggle that with you than to not get it on time. So there we go. What is a $300 lighting kit? You guys have asked me that a few times. I don't know. I think that is an American thing. Are you guys seeing the lighting kit on American sites or Canadian sites? So whoever commented about that lighting kit, if you could just write another comment and say, I'm seeing that lighting kit on the American site or the Canadian site. If it's a Canadian thing, I'll look into it. To be honest, I just haven't looked about it. I assumed it was American because I saw the thing once, but I'm not sure. Ambient lighting right here. There's some of it down there. You can kind of see it looks reddish on camera. It kind of wraps all the way around there, so it's all the way around there and up. And then, of course, you have some over there as well. There'll be some down here, I'm sure, and I believe there's some in that area there, but it is a little bright to show it to you. Actually, while we're here for a second, let's just see if we can. Let's just turn the climate system to off. All right, let's just see. Oh, 3 minutes. Start the car. Now we'll do that. I'll start the car later. So it's going to shut the car off because we're wasting battery, which is, fair. And now again, we're wasting 12-volt battery, the same battery you have in your regular car. The driving battery is not being used right now. So we've got it in the accessory mode without the vehicle running. Same thing. So let's see if we can get to the ambient lighting. I haven't looked up the ambient lighting, guys. So just bear with me for a second as I look for it. I think it is in vehicle lights, ambient lighting. So there's the ambient lighting. So there we go. Brightness, we're going to turn it up to full because it'll be easier to see on camera. You can see it over there. I don't know if you can see it down there right now. So let's just change the color for a second. Oh, dimmed in the dark. We don't want that. We want it bright now. Dimmed during nighttime. Okay, yeah. So let's go back. Oh, sorry, color. So here's your colors that we can do. Blue Flight. I don't know if these colors are going to display perfectly on screen. They actually are pretty close now. Blue Flight, Peaceful Forest, Dreamy Purple, Violet Cloud, Orange Delight, Golden Insight, Refreshing Sea, and then we can pick a custom color. If we do the custom color, we can set the custom color to any one of 64 different colors. So you can choose just about whatever color you like. Pink is the color of love. That looks red on camera. More pink. There we go. Pink is the color of love. We'll do love colors. Isn't that nice? Purpley pinky there. Anyways, that's what I'm trying. All right, guys, we've gone way over time here. Actually, we should show you one more thing. When you look at the ambient lighting, it is in the drive shift there as well. So turn the car off so it doesn't get mad at me for wasting too much battery. All right, we've left it there. Again, I'll do a video. I'm going to film a video when we're done. I'll probably won't post it today, but it is one I want you to watch. I'm going to do a 3-minute video or so coming up. It's just a video, I think. So we're gonna do that this afternoon, probably post it by tomorrow if we don't post it tonight. We're gonna leave it there. So your other questions, feel free to keep asking them in the comment section after the video is done. Gabby and Charlotte are gonna go through this vehicle in detail and show you individual features as we move forward. So, sorry for going overtime. We got to 96 likes, so if there's 4 more of you that wanna hit likes, we'll hit 100 likes before we're done. Wanna thank everyone from watching. Yeah, we'll talk to you in another video very soon. All right, see you later.